What's up, FHS? My name is Chris Orr.
And I'm Bradley Lewis.
It's currently 61 degrees and cloudy outside.
It sure is, Chris. Man, I can't wait for the boys basketball district tournament next week. The boys districts will be held at North County, and the girls will play their district tournament at Hillsboro. Both of these will begin next week from today.
Man, I just can't wait to watch those games.
Are you still pretending to like basketball?
I love basketball, Bradley.
You are a terrible liar. Anyway, we've got a great show for you today, starting with the greatest segment in BKTV history, Hot Takes, followed by a look into our BKTV program.
Then we'll get to see the actual greatest segment of all time, What's Cookin'? All of this and more on BKTV Live.
For those of you who haven't watched, Jace Dennison and I released our second installment of Hot Takes last week. Chris, I gotta tell you, there were some crazy opinions. By the way, who do you think is the greatest athlete of all time?
Oh gosh, there's so many good ones I can't decide. I just love sports.
Well, as long as you don't think it's Larry Bird, I'll be happy. Let's roll the segment.
What's up, FHS? Welcome back to Hot Takes. For this episode, we're going to have some special guests, and we're going to talk about the top 5 athletes of all time. But before we get into that, let's see who FHS students think are the greatest athletes of all time.
Chris Orr. Who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Gotta say Larry Bird.
Alex Morgan.
Michael Jordan.
LeBron James.
Lots of basketball players early on.
Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, there's a hot take. Off we march. Straight in the thick of it. Coach Krupe, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Oh, that's a good question. Jesse Owens.
There's a good one. That is a legend. Good old Coach Krupe. Where's H-Dub? H-Dub, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Nikolai Kane, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
I don't know. Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. Nick, hold up. Nick, what? What the heck, Nick? Chat spam L for Nick. Let's get Kenner. Coach Kenner, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson is a great one. Where's Callahan at? There's Callahan and LT. Sitting side by side. Get back here, Coach Callahan. Let's get him. Let's get him. Coach Callahan. Coach Callahan. Coach Callahan, hold up. Hurry up, Bobby. Coach Callahan, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Oh, that's a good question. LeBron James.
Can't believe we caught him.
I know.
That was legendary.
He's a quick guy.
Coach Gross, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Michael Jordan.
It's a good one. Reed Lucas, greatest athlete of all time?
Bo Jackson.
Good one. Second time we've gotten his name. Evan, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Elliot Kipchoge.
Who is he?
He's the best marathon runner of all time.
Interesting. Speaking of runners, Brandon McIntyre, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Evan Fuller.
Ooh. Coach Stone, who's the greatest athlete of all time?
Well, I don't know who the greatest athlete of all time is, but I do know who the greatest athlete in the history of the mineral area is, and that's Brandon Ross McIntyre,
Really?
4-time Missouri State champion.
Look at that. How lucky are we to be in the presence of such great athletes? Wow. Coach Weber, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
I mean, the simple answer would be Bo Jackson.
It's either Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders. Jesse Owens could be in that conversation.
I think it's Pele.
First time we've heard a soccer player. That's good. Got a couple Bo Jacksons. Hey, Michael Jackson, got a question for you. Hold up real quick. Who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Jesse Owens.
Miss Wolfert. Hi. Who do you think is the greatest athlete of all time in any sport?
Oh my god, I don't freaking know. I'm not the person to ask. Go sports.
Okay.
You know, I really agree with what Mrs. Wolfert said. Go sports.
At least she was able to admit that she's not a good sports fan.
Ooh. Anyway, have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of BKTV?
Morgan Short, Dayton Kennan, and Libby Abel give a peek into what happens behind the camera.
BKTV is an institution in the area. I know I was super jealous in high school because of the opportunities that Farmington students had that were involved in the BKTV program. It's been around since the 80s. And it's just a neat way for kids to learn, to get hands-on experience, and to also showcase what FHS and the whole community is all about. I have a lot of goals, and those goals changed often. But I think the most important thing is to provide experiences for people, to give them something different to do in their school day besides assignment after assignment on a Chromebook or a lecture, and actually get hands-on experience doing things, creating content, and spreading a message. And I think that there's something in this class for everybody, whether this is what your serious career path is going to be, or if it's just something you're kind of casually interested in. I think there's also some good you can get out of the class as well. Specifically for journalism, I want the students to be able to become better writers. I think that people can tell stories well, but can they write them well? And I think that's something that we, as a society, don't do as well. I don't think we write as well as we used to. So I would like for our journalists to be better writers, to be better photographers, and just to get more interest in that. I think BKTV does a great job of promoting itself, not only in the high school, but also in the community. But I think Nightlife and our website for our journalism program hasn't received the same, we haven't tooted our own horn as well as we should. So that's what I'd like to see with that. As far as for each level of BKTV 1, for the ones, I just want them to get a basic understanding of how everything works, to have an overview of what we do in this industry. As far as BKTV 2, a little more specialized, you start working more on the electronic journalism side of things and news packages and segments. And then for 3-4, keep the same things that we do now, but maybe broaden out a little bit and look into other forms of content creation and try to create a little more diverse portfolio for the students who graduate.
I was always sort of interested in TV. I liked watching TV, obviously, but I always sort of thought, like, I would watch the news segments and think about, oh, who makes those? How do they make this stuff? And so I was interested by that, but I've always just been, like, comfortable on camera, I guess. Like, I don't get particularly nervous, so I thought it might be an easy class and maybe I'll be good at it. My original plan was to go to Mizzou for journalism, so I feel like this is a great step, transition step between there and getting into the real world, you know, getting that degree. And so I feel like being like producer of BKTV looks really good on a resume, and it's going to really help me make that next step. Sort of before, all of my friends and I were really good at doing announcements and all that, and we would just like goof around with it in the studio for like the longest time. It took us forever to actually make the announcements, but it was just super fun because there's so much that goes into that stuff. There's literally something for anybody. And so I feel a lot of those roles, and I get to try a whole bunch of different things that you don't really ever get to do anywhere else.
My favorite memory of BKTV is probably homecoming, the parade. We all got together and it was a really fun time. I took the class because I have a passion for journalism and media production, and I think this class does a good job of preparing students for the industry. I think that TV does a really good job of preparing students for the media industry.
Probably just getting to goof around with my friends and Mr. Lowry, love Mr. Lowry, and like overall just learning how to use the cameras. So when I was younger, me and my friends, we always would make movies in his backyard, or like we were really big in stop motion. So I've always been fascinated with like cameras and that type of stuff. So it's fun, but I'm also learning a lot. This has been my favorite high school class so far. This class has been really fun. I feel like I've gained a lot. I've met some really cool people, some great teachers.
Thank you, Morgan, Libby, and Dayton, for that insightful look. Now we move into our global and national news segment called Stuff That Matters. Starting with the AT&T, Cricket, and T-Mobile national service outages, more than 73,000 AT&T customers have reported the service issues. The customers of the providers are outraged, as 30 minutes ago, AT&T has reported that 75% of the service has been restored. These providers are aware of the issues and are currently working to resolve the problems.
In music news, Ozzy Osbourne threatened to sue Kanye West for using one of his songs as a sample in his new album. In Kanye's latest album, Vultures, Ye used the iconic intro from Black Sabbath's Iron Man without proper consent from Ozzy. When Kanye initially asked Ozzy to use a snippet from one of Black Sabbath's live show from 1983, Ozzy refused due to his past anti-Semitic views. Despite this, Kanye went along and used the sample and played it during his listening party for his new album. Because of this, Ozzy's legal team announced that they would take legal action if Kanye did not remove the sample from his song. When USA Today reached out to Ye about the situation, Kanye sent them a video of Osbourne sharing his own anti-Semitic views from over 40 years ago, with Ozzy saying that he admired Hitler's charisma. With the album released, Kanye has since removed that sample and replaced it with another song that Kanye made years back, which ironically used a Black Sabbath sample he had the rights to.
In political news, Nikki Haley flunked her Nevada primary election after a mass number of Republicans voted for the none of these candidate options in their ballot. For the first time ever in American history, a presidential candidate from either party has lost to none of these candidates. The decision by the Republican Party was more for a gag and a way to show their hate for Haley than anything, since Donald Trump, Haley's top opponent in the Nevada ballot, did not compete in the Nevada primary and wanted to focus on another ballot. Because of this decision by the GOP, it left the entire poll from last Tuesday with almost no meaning at all, concluding with no proper candidate elected. While this doesn't have much weight in the grand scheme of the election, it will be a massive blow to Haley's campaign.
In weird news, U.S. Border Protection found mummified monkey remains in a suitcase, with the initial claim that it was just dried fish. On Monday of last week, an inspection dog named Buddy sniffed out a traveler from the Republic of Congo's suitcase who claimed that they were only returning to the U.S. With the claim that the suitcase inside contained dried fish, the Border Patrol began to dig deeper as to what was inside. Upon further investigation, however, what they would come across was miles ahead of what they'd ever expect. The bag contained the mummified remains of 4 whole monkeys, which were intended to be sold as black market meat inside of the U.S. Bushmeat, or to put it bluntly as monkey meat, has a high possibility of containing dangerous viruses and bacteria, including the infamous Ebola virus. Because of this massive health concern, the sales of monkey meat has been banned in the country. The meat was eventually set away by the Centers for Disease Control for it to be destroyed, so the chances of others being harmed wouldn't occur.
Thanks, Chris, for the extremely strange story. Now we move back into our last segment of the show.
To finish off
What's
our
up,
live,
FHS, and welcome back to a brand new episode of What's Cooking.
And some Captain Ronnie's dip.
Take it away, fellas.
What's up, FHS, and welcome back to a brand new episode of What's Cooking.
And in this episode, we're going to be taking you to the East Coast to make some Captain Rodney's dip.
But first, let's go get some input from the students.
Probably this guy. Hey, what is your favorite appetizer?
Ooh, boneless wings.
Okay, good answer. What is your favorite appetizer?
Chicken.
Hey, you guys, what's your favorite appetizer?
Chips with the queso cheese.
Okay, what about you?
Crab rangoon from Pad Thai Kitchen.
That's a biased answer. You, come back here.
Probably Texas Roadhouse rolls.
Okay, well, real original. Hey, Kyle, what's your favorite appetizer?
Favorite appetizer? You gotta go with the fried cheese, like the blocks of square cheese. You can get the lemon sauce on it. Best thing ever. Have a good day, y'all.
Wait, you, stop. Stop right there. What is your favorite appetizer?
Fried pickles.
That's a good answer.
Think about it.
I'm gonna interrupt your conversation. Quincy, what's your favorite appetizer?
Appetizer, cheese sticks.
Fried pickles. Mozzarella sticks.
Good answer. What is your favorite appetizer?
Caesar salad.
Fried pickles.
That's a good answer. What's your favorite appetizer?
I like mozzarella sticks.
That's a good answer. What is your favorite appetizer?
I don't eat appetizers.
Yeah, that is boring. All right, I'll turn around. Is Bobby in here? Where is he? Oh, there he is. What is your favorite appetizer?
Ooh, probably fried pickles.
That's a good answer. Want to be interviewed? Of course you do. What is your favorite appetizer?
Nachos.
That's a good answer. Hey, Gibbs. Come here. What is your favorite appetizer?
That's a good one. I don't probably wings.
That's a good answer.
Now that we're back in my kitchen, let's go get a look at those ingredients.
For this recipe, you will need Captain Rodney's sauce, mayonnaise, cream cheese, bacon, cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar cheese, I should say, wrong way, and green onions. First, you're going to want to mix the mayonnaise, cream cheese, and cheddar cheese in a bowl. No. Crème de cheese. Is that French? The cheddar, 1 cup. Sprinkle it on the top. Is that good, Chris? Are you happy? Head chef. And now you fold. Learn that one in Foods 1. Thank you, Miss Eden. Next, you want to grease your quiche pan. Then you pour in the cream cheese mixture.
Alright, secret step, chop the onions. How many onions are we using?
2 green onions.
Get out of here. Chop off that end. Money da dum.
Shut up.
Now, secret step, part 2, we mix the green onions. You think you're not even the Next step is to crush your crackers and put them over the top. Next, you want to take your quiche pan and put it in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes.
Was we took the bacon, crumpled it up, and put it on top of our mix, and then topped it with the Captain Rodney's glaze.
Alright, let's try the food. Cheers.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good job, guys.
That was actually some of the best food I've ever had in my life. If you have the ingredients, I highly suggest you give it a try.
Didn't taste that good to me.
You left before we even finished making it. How would you know how it tastes?
Well, that's it for this episode. Tune in next week for the next
BKTV Live.